Welcome again to this tutorial of the positive accounting. I think this is the fourth video that we are taking you through this tutorial, and please kindly make sure you before you forget, you make sure you subscribe there and maybe hit a like, and as we proceed. And I would like also to invite most of you, if you'll want to know more, please come to our offices, and we will be able to take you through, and you'll be able to see a lot of things there. Now, last time we discussed about the assets and the assets management, and we spoke of how you can create the assets management and how you can also be able to legalize this asset management. And then also we showed you the labels, and we also showed you how you can track these assets the way they are moving. So finally, we checked on the reports, and these are the reports. You can see fixed asset balances summary. So you can also be able to check those reports the way they are. So reports as per each and every warehouses. You can select a branch, or you can say all the way it is there, and then you just put okay, you say okay there, and then you are able to see the report of those fixed assets. Okay, so let's see how it will print. So that is how it will populate. You can see here it's asset ID, values listing. So you can see the asset IDs here, description also, the vehicle, and then model number, and then manufacturer serial number. So you are able to see those vehicles or any other assets that you have that are actually listed. All of them here, they'll be listed. The moment you create an asset ID or you put an asset into the system, then they are automatically being actually taken. Then fixed asset ID ledgers. So this one is a fixed asset ID ledgers here. You are able also to check there. Let's see if at all it will print. So this is how you can see them, how they were ledgered. Like you can see this is what the asset IDs, those ones that are ledgered. You will also be able to see their reports. So there are so many 100+ reports that you are able to check here on whatever things you want to know about your assets and all that stuff. So that is where you are able to see the reports. Now, when we come to fleet management, fleet management, to some of our clients, they used to think that we are offering tracking mechanism, but actually this is not a tracking mechanism. But you can integrate the tracking mechanism with this. Now, this one is purely for the fuel management system, so that you are able to monitor the capacity at which the fuel is being consumed by different assets of your vehicles. Yeah, so that you can also deter drivers from dumping, what you call the dumping. Okay, mtu anaenda na kunywa na nyonya mafuta yote. So this one you are able to track it, so that you prevent the drivers from being dishonest and all that. So first of all, you will have the ratings, you have the distances, you have the durations, you have allowances, and then you have the speed manager here. So with the ratings, this is how it appears. Okay, you can see ratings, that is liters per kilometer. So you know this vehicle or this asset, this is what it consumes per kilometer. So, and the accuracy here is supposed to be, the job here is supposed to be as accurate as possible. Because if you put wrong ratings, then definitely you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. So this one, somebody has to be very, very vigilant when putting and come up with a realistic data, so that you can input it in the system here. So this is how you just add those ratings. You put the asset ID here, like if it is KAH, you can put it there, that is KAH. So, and then consumption liter per kilometer, you can indicate there how many liters per kilometer it takes. So if it is 100 or wherever, you can indicate there, and then you just say okay. Okay, so you just say okay with the engine and all that stuff. So that is the rating that it has. You can put it there. So with the number of vehicles that you have, different ones, so all of them will be indicated here with their ratings per kilometer. So liters per kilometer consumption. And then from there you come here and decide now to define the routes or the distances that are being taken with your vehicles. So which is actually somehow very challenging, because you have to be very accurate. You have to be very accurate in your routings, and at the same time also your drivers need to be given a policy that they need to follow specific routes. So if they are found on a route that is not actually approved by the company, so what happens? You never know. But the challenge to most of the organizations we've realized is that some of their drivers take a lot of shortcuts. They don't take the approved routes. So this is where you can input those routes. You can say maybe from Kericho or from Kisumu, you go all the way to Kericho. What is the distance here? Maybe you can say maybe the distance is 100 kilometers or maybe 200. Distance there is 200 kilometers. So this is how you input those distances there. Okay. So this is how you will input the distances, and then you come here. You say from Kericho, again from Kisumu, from Kitale, let's say to let's say to Nairobi. So you can say how many kilometers there. If it is 400, you can say maybe it's 400 kilometers. So there. So the distances need to be very realistic so that you can get a good data, good results, because whatever you put inside here, it is what exactly the output you're going to get, because it is the output you're going to get is based on what you've input, the input you've inputted here. So of course here again you can check also the duration of the vehicle. So you can say if it is Mombasa, if you say, let's say vehicle asset ID, and then you say if the distance here from Mombasa or from Kisumu to Kericho, duration in terms of minutes, how long will it take? Let's say you can say it might take 120 minutes or something like that. So that is about 2 hours. Or you can say if it can take 200 minutes, so that is about 3 hours and 20 minutes. So you just indicate there. So it has to be very realistic. At times, I've seen organizations making this feasibility study. They travel themselves so that they can get accurate data to input here. So you can put those durations there. So once you put the durations there, now durations includes even the stopovers. It includes even the stopovers. Like if you go from Nairobi to you're going from Nairobi to Kisumu, then from Nairobi to Kisumu, you arrive at Nakuru. How long will it take you maybe to pause in Nakuru? Like if it is 2 hours or 3 hours, so all those hours are calculated so that you can be able to know, like the driver, when the driver is traveling, the system is able to know how long will he take or will she take from point A to point B, including the stopovers and all that stuff. For how long will it take? So that if they take longer than that, then it means maybe the driver was in the road doing something. And then this is the speedometer. This is now, you can check the asset ID here. You can say KAH. So this is the asset ID. You can select it there. So once you've selected it here, it will show you the image here of the vehicle, and then it will show you also the fuel indicator, okay, and then fuel type, and then also belonging to which branch this asset it is for which branch, and then it will show you also the fuel. So the fuel, when you click there with the fuel, so this is where you are able to add, okay, the fuel stock expense. So you are able to add for him the fuel, because you have the fuel a code that you input here to show that you are adding this fuel. This guy is supposed to take fuel worth how many liters and all that stuff. And then also you can indicate the route that he is taking, and then the variances. Okay, if there be any variances, if the fuel was supposed to be 100 liters per, and then he's come back, what is in the tank is expected to be maybe 5 liters, and then you find that in the tank there is only maybe there is absolutely nothing. So this is where the variances will be indicated. So once those variances are indicated, what happens? You may choose to charge the driver or something like that. Some companies will charge the drivers and all that stuff. So allowances also, you are able to indicate the allowances here. allowances. Okay, you indicate the allowances. There are different allowances that are set somewhere, and then there are also services. So here you are able to check how long does this vehicle goes to service, after how long. So if it is always going to service every now and then it has to be serviced, then you start now, raising eyebrows. Why? And especially when a vehicle is with a certain driver, that is when it goes to services so much. But when it is not with it is with another driver, you hardly see it taken to the services. So that is when you can begin raising eyebrows and asking the driver, maybe he's not becoming honest and all that stuff. So at the end of it all, you have a report, and the final report here is just a fuel consumption report. So then from here, you'll be able to know which vehicle is performing very well and which vehicles are not performing very well. So out of that, you're able to decide maybe vehicles that are too expensive, they are taking a lot of your expenses, then you can decide to dispose them. Yeah. So that is when you hear companies will say they are disposing certain vehicles to the staffs first, or even to the outsiders. So because of such a things they've gone through and they see. Okay, so this is a fuel consumption report summary, so that you are able to know which vehicle is taking a lot of fuel and which one is not. Transaction, quantity of liters, cost, and then total here. So finally you get the grand final total down there. So that is how the fleet management really works. So this one is purely, as I said, it is purely for the fuel consumption management, consumption, whichever way. So it is basically for that. Okay, it is not for tracking and all that stuff. It's just for fuel management. And then of course we go to manufacturing. So this is where the manufacturing is purely for factories, industries that are producing things, industrialization. Those ones that do produce things, including even restaurants and bakeries. They are also indicated here. They are part of the manufacturing. Also, it includes butcheries and the rest of the things. So they are included here. First of all, this is where they input their item sets. So item set is like recipes, the things that you are using, or the raw materials that you are using to produce certain products. So this is where you input all the raw materials here. So you input the raw materials here. Once you put the raw materials here, then the expected finished product you indicate there. This is the finished product. So you end up realizing that the cost of raw materials here, the cost of raw materials and the cost of the final product, they are actually, they do balance. Okay, they have to balance, so that you may know what markup percentage you need to add for you to make your profit. So that is where you create all these recipes. In terms of restaurants and all that stuff, you can create all these recipes, so that you know if your bakery or if your restaurant is making profit, you are able to track the stock. So after every production is done, the stock has to reduce, and then the number of final products, they end up increasing like that. So every time you do a production, your stock goes down, and the number of production does increase. Okay, so there is also this one that we call the dissection ones. So this one also is a certain set of production that is called dissection. So dissection is a main single raw item. So this is where now you find one single raw item, mostly in factories. You find, first of all, they have different kind of raw materials. Then they produce one single raw material. Then that one single raw material ends up producing another product. Okay, like mostly mattresses do that. They have chemicals they mix, and then it produces all this huge big ball of mattress, and then from there, that ball of mattress, now it is being used now to produce different shapes of mattresses, like 6 inches, 6 by 6, 5 by 6, 3 by 6, or whatever things like those ones. So it ends up producing different types of products, but one single product. So this is what it's called dissection, because in this one single product, then it is going to be dissected into different products. So this is where now you come in and do that. Do that also. Okay. So in the dissection also, it can include things like butchery. You buy one carcass, big carcass of meat, one cow carcass here, and then from there, out of that carcass, it produces different sections of meat. So you are able to define that out of that one huge carcass. So this is where the dissection is done because of that. And then we have fraternity. This is just to help you break those items from larger quantities to smaller quantities, or either from smaller quantities to larger quantities for the purpose of production. And mostly bakeries, a lot of bakeries do this. You can get a 50 kg bag of sugar, and then you want to transfer it to different bags of maybe if it is 1 grams or 1 kg, you want to use that, so they can transform them to that and then be able to use them for production. But before they do this bulk breaking, what they do is that they do what we call fraternity management. So the fraternity manager is that you take all products that come from this same fraternity, like they belong from the same compound, and you create them. You create one fraternity for them so that they can belong there. Like now, for example, a fraternity is sugar, and then you take all the combinations of sugar, you put them into one group of fraternity, which is sugar. And likewise also salt, you can put all those kinds of salt, you put them in one fraternity. And then flour, you can have all those kinds of numbers, so that you create small groups for them for the purposes of just production. So that after you've done fraternity, that is when now you can come here and do a bulk breaking. Bulk breaking is simply transferring certain number of sizes, a size number of certain number of unit quantity into a different type of quantity. For example, if I have sugar here, it is 50 kg, and I want to convert it into maybe 1 kg, I can come here and I say 50 kg, I need, this is 50 kg. So you can see if I put 50 kg here, and I want to convert this into 1 kg, you can see now already it is giving me 50 kg. So which means 50 bags. So at a current cost is 100 at a cost. So let's say if I say I want to put sugar, let me say I want to convert this 2 kg, okay, 2 kg, I want to convert it into 1 kg, let's say maybe 500 grams, okay. So quantity of them I have, maybe let's say I have 100, okay. So what I'm expected is I'm expected to have this number of grams, 100. Now it is taking in terms of kgs and grams, so it is converting from kgs to grams, so to see how much you're going to get. Like for example, if it is 2 kg, if I put 2 kg there, I have only 2 kg, it will give me 4,000 grams, okay. So if it is 1 kg, it will give me 2 kgs, that is 2 pieces, 2 packets of 1 kg. So that is how you transfer. And then when you click transfer, what happens? That stock, this stock here, will be transferred into those 1 kg pieces of sugar packets, of sugar pieces. So that is how you do a bulk breaking, so that you can transfer products into smaller quantity to enhance you do production. So that is what bulk breaking. And then we have factory tables here. So factory tables, okay, people call them tables, but I call them group of shifts, okay. These are group of shifts, yeah. So every table, it has a group of people who do a certain production. So this table, you can name it maybe table description. Normally you can name it after the name of the supervisor, so that you can be able to know that this shift or this production was done by a group of this supervisor. So they normally put the name of these supervisors here, so that you are able to indicate. But it depends with companies. Others will put even the name of a production or a department, production department. Okay, so and then you have piece rates. So these are the name of those tables or production or shifts that were done, and then they are paid as per the number of production that they are producing. So after per every production piece of an item, they're being paid 10 shillings. So if you produce bread, one piece of bread paid 10 shillings. So that is what is called the production piece rate. So you are being paid as per the number of production that you've done. Okay. So and then we have your item set, production manager. So this is where now you have to if you want to do a production now, final production. So you say you want to produce bread 400 grams white. So he comes here and he says bread, and then he says valid warehouse. Of course I have to choose which warehouse, and then of course, and then I say new. So once I say new, then I'll be able to define production, how many quantity of breads were produced. So this one, it is after production that has been done. The final products are already out of the oven. If it is bread, then you count what was produced. Then from there you come and post in the system. Now that is what we call production in the system. So you post it here if it is 120 pieces. So reference, the document reference, you can put the document reference if it is a credit note, and then you say here production turnout, or maybe you can say maybe production, or even final products, and then you say next. Okay, of course you don't have to put this, you just say next. Okay, and then it will show you the final product that was produced here. This is the shift, this is the supervisor that was with this team. Okay, and then you do the saving. Okay, so once you say the save, first of all you say just here okay, it comes here, and then you do the saving. Okay, either way. So print production, I will not print as at now. So this is the production that was done today by these guys. So this is what they did. So every production is done here. You are able to see this. Okay, so once you've seen this production, when you go to the stocks, you are able to see, okay, the stocks that are, the stock is added. Like for example, let me come here. So let me say bread. So this is the bread that was produced. Okay, so that is the bread that was produced. So you can see this is the production that has just been done now, 120 pieces. So of course there were some other balances, so plus that one. So this is the final stock position of the bread produced. Okay, so that is the final. Now when you go check the stock again of sugar and all that stuff, you find all of them, they've been actually reduced by the number of production that was done. So that is how manufacturing works. That is how manufacturing works and all that stuff. So you can either use manual production, because there's at times you will need a manual production because of different dynamics and changes of things. Also depends with the different companies. So at times they will have to do that. And then also finally, there's also reports here. So at the end of the day, there is what we call the EOD here. So those are end of day reports. So that is the end of day reports. They are only there to help the management and the owners of the company to know exactly what has been happening. So they know if it is production, they know this is what was produced. And if there's anything, okay, they are able to know the activities that have been taking place during the working hours, so that from those reports they are able to make instant decisions on what is supposed to be done and what is not supposed to be done. So you can see here bulk transaction, bulk break transaction. So there is a bulk break that we did. Let me see here. I don't know if we did it. Did we complete? No, we didn't do it. So we didn't actually. I just demonstrated, but I didn't click OK. So that's but there is a report every time you do a bulk break or a conversion of stock. There is a report there, and those reports, they are not editable. You cannot actually edit them. So these are production listing. So you can see what was produced and what was never produced. So this is the production listing, and this is what we produced, the white bread we just produced right now. So this is a production listing, so that a report that is being compiled. Then this one also factory item set list. Those ones that were added, production staff enumeration summary, those ones also are there. You are able also to see those production enumeration summary. So nothing else has been enumerated. That one also from the HR. So you are able to notice that. So there are all these reports that monitors the activities of a factory or whatever you've done in production. All those activities are captured within the system. So that is what exactly it entails when you do an asset, you do fleet, you do manufacturing. This is what is being entailed here. Okay, so that is what is being entailed. And of course, finally, we have banking here. So these are banks, and if you want to, sorry, maybe my print. So if you want to add a new bank in the system, this is where you do the adding of your banks in the system. So you just say new. So once you say new, you choose, or you see the system gives you an automatic code within there, and then you select the bank, you name the bank. I could say maybe Gildas Bank. Gildas Bank title, and then I will say payment. Also, I will just put Gildas Bank. Okay, and then say okay. So once I've created that Gildas Bank, if I remove this tick because it's not activated, you can see there are so many banks here. So this is Gildas Bank that we've created. So I'll put a tick here. Let me just, because I've not updated. So I'll just say that account number, you indicate the account number. Then you leave it to current. You put addresses, town, which town is the Gildas. You can select. If it is Mombasa, you say Mombasa. You can put any note. Okay, overdraft facility, limit. You can say maybe the overdraft is 2,000 for your staff, and then you say let it be active in your system. So once it is activated, you just say update. So already it is active in the system. So if I put the tick here, so you can see active banks only. If I put the tick there, Gildas Bank will be there because it is already active now. And then from Gildas here, I can also set the checks. I can add checks. You can put check number 1, because most banks or most companies have different checks, okay, of the same bank. So you can have like 2 or 4, 20 checkbooks, but of the same bank. You are able to track them from the system and also track their pages also. You can say this check begins from check number 1 to last check, which is maybe you can say check number 30 is the last check. So when you start paying off customers using this check from this bank, the system is also counting those checks. And of course, you can set a printer here, and then it will also print. You will also be able to be printing those checks. Okay. So that is how you simply create banks and you assign them, you make them active in the system. So that is how you, and then there is a standard source codes here, sort codes here. These sort codes, these are different types of banks here and their codes. Okay, we've input that for you, but you can add more if you want to. And then we have also checks. So here you can track, is a check manager. You can track all the checks that were paid, and you can even view those checks. As earlier as we said, you can view those checks and you can see how those checks will look like. You can even decide to stop those checks. You can even cancel them. Okay, so once you cancel them, the transactions are gone. And then we have statements, bank statements here. So you can select a bank statement. So these are bank statements, and then you are able to print these bank statements. So you can print those bank statements, different bank statements with the different banks with their own statements here. And then finally, you see here in the bank, you can see a reconciliation. So this is where you can do your reconciliation here. Okay, you just simply select a date. Okay, let me just backdate this. It's showing me 2019, it's supposed to be 2021. So you can backdate that. We are in May. Are we in May? Yeah, June. Let me say June 8th. Okay, so I can backdate that. So you can see these are there. And then when you're doing reconciliation, of course, you have a bank slip which indicates this amount. This amount should reflect your bank slip, and from there, you're just able to do a reconciliation by ticking here until everything here goes what? Goes 0, 0. So once you've done that, you can either save, you can save there, so that for the next continuation, you can continue continuation. So this is where you do your bank reconciliations. So you can select even any bank, like if it is cooperative, you can select it, and then it will give you other transactions too. So let me see if I have transactions for cooperative. No, it is going back, it's supposed to be 2021. So you can see even cooperative, I have this. Now, if you remember, this is the enterprise. We did it for those who've watched our second tutorial. These are some of the transactions that we did. So you can see how they've come to reflect. And of course, this is what we did just right now. Okay, and then you can do a reconciliation here using your bank slip amount. Okay, you can do those reconciliations there. Okay, you can do the reconciliation there. So this is where you do bank reconciliations, and then after that, this is where now you check the reports. So we have these reports for banking. They are view checks. You can view those checks. You can do view bank transfers that were done, bank charges, and then also we have these EODs, which is end of day reports. You can select check managers. You can check what transpired, and then we have also other reports like statements, bank reconciliations, check killed. Okay, the checks that were killed, not necessarily murdering, but there is an accounting terminology that I know the accountants will understand by saying check killed. Okay, and then there is check listing, and then bank and diary reports. So those are some of the reports that you'll have during the banking sector. Okay, and finally also we have the nominal codes, or some of you call it the chart of accounts. So we have the ledgers here, you have the accounts. So all these are the chart of accounts that you yourself can create. And then we have also micro expenses that also some of you can add those micro expenses that you want to add. You simply say new here, and then you add whatever micro expense that you want to add here. So you can add, and then of course you have the ledgers here. So these ledgers you are able to check, let's say if it is a bank charges, you can also be able to check bank charges. If there are any bank charges here, you're able to check. You can also do what we call journal transfers. So you simply select a bank here if it is equity. If it is equity, okay, and then you say maybe you want to transfer some money to your cash book account because the money was removed from cash book account or to any other bank. Okay, and then you indicate the amount here. If it is 30,000, you can indicate that amount there. Okay, 30,000, not 30 million, but 30,000. So you can indicate that amount there. So you can see this account here is credited, and then this one will be debited. So once I do that, and then I indicate details here, after saying any details and then save. Okay, so once I've saved there, already my cash book has been debited. So if I go to cash book here, so you can see here my cash book, the 30,000 has been debited into my account. So that is how you can do a JV or a journal transfer. So through this system. So that is how you do journal transfers. And then of course you can monitor your cash book. Okay, you can monitor your cash book here. Let's say if it is cash book, and click here running balances. You are able to see those cash books. You are also able to post out some of the payments that were done. Maybe you can say this is an expense, and then you can select whatever expense it could be. It could be water expenses, fuel, whatever. That one, of course, you've indicated. Now, if it is fuel, the system will require you to put an asset ID. Okay, so you'll have to indicate an asset ID. So let me say this KAH. So this is the asset ID. So of course it will give me asset ID. Then I will indicate amount, fuel how much. So I will say 3,000. Then blah 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 blah. Document ref number, details, whichever, and then I will say that, and then I will say that. Then I will get to save. Say yes. Okay, so I'll say okay. Just printing on the windows. Okay, that is one way of posting. The other way, you can come here and do the posting. Okay, that is one way of posting those receipts and all that stuff. Okay, so that is how you do the posting from your cash book. And then we have what we call the pay queue. So this pay queue is also another mode of payment from the headquarter, and especially if the supplier comes for money at the headquarter, and maybe at the headquarter you don't have money because you don't pay people from the headquarter. Okay, so you can say pay supplier above. Okay, and then you indicate amount, like maybe he wants 20,000. Send SMS to cashier at the branch. So if I put a tick here, the cashier will definitely, those who are the branch at the POS, they will get a text message, okay, that there is a supplier who is coming to pick some payments there. So I will just say tip, save instruction. I'll say that. Okay, so sorry, there's a mechanism. Sorry, let me reopen it again. There was an error. So the system, like you can see, the system is very, very simple. You interact with it. If you've done something that is not well, it will always pop up a message telling you that things are not, you've not done things correctly. So like we were here at the pay queue. So this is where you do the payments of your suppliers. So what happens here is this: once you've done the pay queue, what happens is that this system will generate a PIN number. Like you can see, if I highlight here, there's a PIN number that is being shown, that PIN number there. So this is the PIN number that is being shown for this pay. So the supplier will be given this PIN number, and then they will go to the branch, and then at an instructed POS, that is where now he will go and punch this PIN number and be able to withdraw the cash that he requires. So this is how the pay queue works. That is how the pay queue works. And the PIN numbers, they do expire after some time, okay? So they do expire. So that is how it is. So we have also the M-Pesa's transactions. So you find that all the M-Pesa transactions that are happening, all the M-Pesa transactions that are being done globally, like if you have all the branches, all the M-Pesa transactions come and this is where they hit. This is the dashboard where all the M-Pesa transactions will come and hit. I hope I have transactions here. Way back to, let me backdate. So let me backdate here. I hope, yeah. So these are some of the transactions. So every transaction that you do, okay, a customer does, it comes and hits here. So at times you will want to verify if the transaction has gone through. So you call the HQ and all that stuff. So they will come and check here for you. So they will say if it is non-utilized, it will appear there. If it is already utilized, it will appear here. it means that it has gone through. But if it is still non-utilized, it is still hanging, it has not gone through, so this is where it will appear. But and then if it is the transaction has been received, you'll see it will also appear there, the transaction has been received. So this is where you it's a dashboard, by the way. So at times, once in a while, they will come here and verify. They will verify account, like, you know, just do some verifications here to see deposit utilization. They can come here and click here and check how has it, like now you can see I deposited 10 shillings. Okay, so they can be able just to come there and verify certain things and all that stuff. Okay, you can also verify from the branches. Okay, you can also come here and verify from the branches so that you can see payb value, warehouse branch value, and all the differences if there be there. So this is when you can do the verifications, and you are not actually anywhere, you are just right in the HQ, and you are doing everything in one central location. Okay, you don't have to move, oh, let me go here, let me go here. You just do everything here, you do verifications, everything there, and then you already know how much M-Pesa transaction has been done. Okay, and then of course we have all this M-Visa, we have M-Visa here, and then we have Vuma. All those transactions are being supported by the system. So I think this one will look for the Vuma and Visa thing. It will take some time. Okay, so this is where it does all those M-Visa, Vuma, wherever, all of them, they are being supported by the system. Okay, they are being supported by the same. So we are going to, okay, this is an error. Okay, there's an error there. Now it will put me out. Sorry, that's why I was saying that Vuma thing was looking for the Vuma server. So if you click it, it will just be there, hang, and bring errors because there is no server here. No server for that Vuma yet. I've not connected anything here. This is just a pure demo. Okay. So that is how it will appear. So like we were talking about these transactions here. There's M-Visa, EasyPay, Yumi, Vuma, all these, they are being supported by the system. So every mode of payment from M-Pesa here all the way to M-Visa, the system supports that. And those ones, they will require a small integrations with the bank so that your transactions can go through. Okay, transactions can go through. Otherwise, thank you very much for checking this demo. Please remember to subscribe down there and maybe hit a like. And we invite you also to come to our offices, Lower Kabete Road, Spring Valley Business Park. We are in Block A, first floor. Please, you can come and check what we are doing, and we will be very much glad. We are purely a Kenyan company. Okay, the system is designed by Kenyans and Kenyan engineers. So you can see in Kenya, in terms of tech, Kenya is really moving very fast. Otherwise, thank you very much. See you again in the next video. We'll discuss more about the wear and tear, liquidity, trial balance, and all that, and how they are being populated. Otherwise, thank you. See you in the next video. Cheers.